You know what it is? Culture is kind of a common denominator of human behavior in the company. If you understand the culture, it's kind of a shortcut to understanding kind of individual behavior on a bigger scale. Being a CEO has been incredibly helpful to me as a CIO. And I'm going to do it again. You know where I'm going to go with that. I'm going to quote Buffett. And because it's impossible not to, it does make you a better investor. Being a businessman does make you a better investor. And let me tell you where the biggest difference, for me, what I understood, people. Mm-hmm. It's people and how complex businesses are. So let me give you this example. When you analyze companies, you look them through the prism of spreadsheets, you feel like you can almost run a business. And sometimes, I've seen value investors start giving CEOs advice. You remember the famous case where some activist investors start to tell Olive Garden how much they should spend on breadsticks and stuff? What arrogance does it just kind of the spreadsheet knowledge is kind of dangerous, I guess. So that's one aspect of that. But also another aspect is that you realize how important people are. You realize that what you're buying a company, even when you're buying a company like Coke or General Motors or whatever, you are still not just buying assets, you are buying people. Because these people can either create an enormous amount of value or destroy enormous amount of value. Now, dynamics, industry dynamics, etc., still make a difference. But today, by the way, that made investing more difficult because that adds another filter, which removes even more companies from your universe. Mm-hmm. But that has made me a much, much better investor. I remember, Chris, I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm not going to mention the company. I, honest to God, bought a stock because I thought and I knew the guy who was running was a crook. But I thought, you know what, now that he's incentivized differently, he's not going to screw me. Fast forward, he did screw me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so today, I would, idea of buying this company would not even enter my mind. I would just move on. Now, if I lose confidence in management, especially their quality of the character, I move on. I'm not going to mention the company name. You see why. But we own this company. And right after we bought it, there was a lawsuit that was filed against the company, which happens all the time. Lawsuit itself is not important. But there was an interesting disclosure in the lawsuit. The person who was suing the company, described how he went to negotiations with the CEO, to dinner with the CEO to negotiate the resolution of whatever the dispute they had. And he told the story how he was sitting at the table with the CEO, and there was an assistant sitting right next to the CEO, and assistant was cutting CEO's meat while he was talking. There was only one right decision at that point in time when I learned it, is what to sell the stock. I didn't. I lost a bunch of money on the stock. Okay? For the right reasons. Because the guy who ran the company, he was egomaniac. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay? So...
That's literally acting like a child.
Yeah, no, it is it is, yes. It is literally, yes, exactly. And so the point I'm trying to make is that, the people make a huge difference. If somebody behaves like that person basically, by the way, why does it matter if somebody else cutting his food? It basically tells you that person has a cult of personality. Mm-hmm. He feels that he's so important, that he's not going to cut his own food. He's going to have somebody else do that for him. The mistakes that person made were the mistakes you would expect somebody who thinks he's right all the time make.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, it's something I learned as well through the years, that people are the real assets in businesses, and they make all the difference. Because if you look at innovation, that only comes from people, right? And culture, people and culture. So,
just you mentioned something interesting. You know what it is? Culture is kind of a common denominator of human behavior in the company. So if you understand the culture, it's kind of a shortcut to understanding kind of individual behavior or kind of on a bigger scale.
Yeah, true. And I think the Phil Fisher scuttlebutt still works in that way. If you look at people online even who work there and who talk about their company, I think you can still learn a lot about the way in which they talk about their company and their management, etc. There's still undervalued knowledge to call it, like that.
Hey, thank you for watching this video. If you want to learn more about life, classical music, philosophy, and investing, make sure to subscribe to my articles and visit investor.fm. Thank you.